Hey guys, it is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is amazingly great to be with you guys tonight. Actually, we're almost into the wee hours of March 18th. By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone, because we are still on Friday, March 17th. And this whole weekend's kind of like the luck of the Irish. So I do wish that you and yours find that pot of infinite gold and abundance at the end of your rainbows. And that you are luckier than any of the Irish today and the entire year through. All right, so you know how we roll. We start on a Saturday, which is tomorrow, with a brand new master topic, and we roll all the way through the week. Yes. And we finish up on a Friday, which, hey, that's today. So open up your camera app, point over the QR code like so, touch that yellow ellipse, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to get, yes, you're going to get my link tree with lots of great information to improve the quality of your life and so many people you care so much about. All right. So I want to thank you for popping in here. Also, if you're coming back, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Also, thank you to you if you're coming back, watch us on the replay, whether that's 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 4 a.m., 4 p.m., 12 midnight, 12 noon, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., or whatever time you're watching on the replay. Really do appreciate you taking the time to make IFYL part of your life. Hey, definitely check out IFYL's radio show, Inspiration for Your Life Drive Time. You can check that out by going to believemeachieve.com. Currently, we're on every Tuesday morning at 10:05 a.m. In New York, New Jersey. But if you're not in the area, you can always go to WTBQ.com, click on the stream at 10:05 on Tuesdays Eastern, and you'll be able to hear me. You'll even be able to call into the show or text as well, and you'll still be eligible for contests, even if you're not in New York, New Jersey. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to that master topic, because I know everybody is, really wanting to hear it. Here it is. All right. So how to get engaged. All right. So we've been talking a lot about engagement, and again, we need to become genuinely interested in the other person. If our reason for getting engaged is to confuse someone, is to trip someone up, is to lie, is to cheat, is to steal, well, we're going to go nowhere. And not only are we going to go nowhere, we're probably going to go backwards because our reputation's going to go down the drain. Now, thinking about getting engaged is a process. And I'm talking about engagement in terms of a project, friendship, relationship. I'm not saying getting engaged like marriage, but it's all part of it. And so when we think about how we get engaged, even on a project, or how we get engaged to help a friend move, how does that happen? Maybe they ask us for help. Maybe they guilt us in. Don't guilt people in. That's not good, because if somebody wants to help you, they're going to do it from their heart. When you guilt somebody into doing something, well, I don't know. I just don't think it's great when you guilt somebody in. It's just not really their truthful intention that's helping you. It's a guilt. And so we had a lot of great guests on this week. We got more guests coming next week, and been very grateful for them coming to us from all around the world with some great topics. And I have to tell you that when we engage, we do sometimes want to just give it up to the universe. And we'll have more shows specifically about that. But sometimes we get so overwhelmed, right? Or we get on a merry-go-round, like, how do you get off? Help me. And I think when we're clear about our purpose in life, we had one guy talking to us about purpose, and he lived a good part of his life before he figured out how to change. Do you engage in things, or do you get pushed into things because, well, you just rather, be dragging your feet and clamming your mouth, your teeth, and your legs and your arms, saying, I don't want to do this? Or are you open to new possibilities? Engagement means that you have an open mind, that you're looking to become creative. And when you engage and you do it because of a fueled reason of passion behind it, you're going to find that you will go much further than someone who just kind of pretends to be interested. That's right. I said pretends to be interested. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Does it mean that you're being roped, or are you actually confused? When we say that you don't actually know and you do something because it just seems like you have to do it, but not that you want to do it. See, there's a difference between wanting to do something and having to do something. Hmm. So if you have to do something, you might do it, but not the same way as if you really are passionate about wanting to complete it. And I think it's the same thing when you ask kids to clean up a room and they don't want to clean up the room. And the reason they don't want to clean up the room is because they just don't feel they have to clean up the room, right? I will tell you that it's important, okay? And it's important that you understand where things are going. If you try to engage through force, you're not going to be productive. In fact, you're going to be extremely frustrated because nothing's going to lay the way it's supposed to. Nothing's going to gel properly. And you're going to be like, why did I get involved with this? Generally, on a project, when something doesn't flow naturally, you got the wrong team or you've got the wrong project. And usually it's not the project, usually it's the team, because the team sometimes comes together for reasons of just making a profit. Maybe they're not part of the company. And they decide to like a project even if they hate it. I've told you guys before that when you have a passion to like and love something, that is when, ladies and gentlemen, that you can really excel. When you like something, okay, with your whole heart and you believe in something, it's like this creative energy of juices just starts to flow inside you. Why? Because you're not being restricted. It's like an ebb and flow in an ocean. And I'll tell you that people who are pushed into things that are not in the areas that they are even slightly interested are going to become a problem. And I'll tell you that it's interesting. Okay. And I will tell you something else. If somebody tries to get you to do something because they think it's what you should do, but you're not passionate about it, or you don't even have an interest to learning about it, then you're going to have a problem. You have a serious problem. And I'll say to you that no one wants a problem, right? They all want things to work out happily. Unfortunately, people are human. And not every team comes together that will stay together. There's dynamics in the team that just won't work. This happens sometimes. That's why it's always important to figure out who you're going to put on your team slowly. And when there's a problem and you can't resolve it, remove them from the team immediately. As we always would say, hire slow, fire fast. Getting involved. Sometimes we want to make such a big impact, such a big difference that we throw ourselves all over the place and we don't know what the heck we're doing. And I'm going to tell you something else. Now, I know this isn't a religious show, but I want to tell you that prayer helps. Prayer will help you get engaged. Why? Prayer grounds us as a human being. Also, ladies and gentlemen, giving gratitude. Giving gratitude is something that I cannot convey the importance of. Because once you're grateful for one thing in your life, everything else in your life soon pops up with more things you can become grateful for. That's just like amazing. I know. Why is it that some people that engage immediately pull out after a while? Well, they might develop things like self-pity. They might feel inadequate. Or maybe they just were not honest with themselves about the time commitment and they're a procrastinator or they're a non-committer. Now, when you make a choice to help an organization or a club or your family or friends, usually it's a one-off thing, right? But then there are some people that ask you to always help, like come to this meeting, join this club, join this organization, and you're always giving up that day once a week, once a month, and once a month isn't so bad. But you want to limit the things you do that to and also weekly, right? When you make that commitment, you got to put that down on your calendar that you always do that. Now, unless there's something really pressing. Now, I know in business things might come up and you might have to meet that person, or I might have to have that interview with this great person that can't meet me any other time but the time of my Lions meeting. It happens. It's a one-off. I want to get that person on the show, or I want to go to the Lions meeting. I'll probably trade off and say, hey, I'll skip that meeting and I'll get that guest because I want to do the best for all of you. And if you guys haven't noticed, I'm not selfish. I want to give so that you guys can improve the quality of your life. But giving is something that you do from the heart. It could be giving your talents, something that's giving money. Sometimes might be just giving a comment or giving your consistent constructive feedback. Do you know how many people today beg for CCF, but they never get it? Or the only feedback they've ever gotten is feedback that just puts them down. That's not useful. No, it isn't. So, how do you engage when they have this, I don't know, monster-like attitude? I generally say to the person, hey, do you have a minute? Can we talk privately for a minute? And usually they'll say yes. And like, hey, dude, look, I know you're the captain of the football team, or you're the captain of this, you're the leader of this, and I get that and I respect you. And in the same breath, we're all volunteers here tonight. And I'm trying to help you, and you keep dissing me in front of your directors, your friends. And frankly, I was going to bring other people here, but I don't know if I want to stay around myself with the way you're treating me. So unless something changes with the way you treat me, I'm not coming to another meeting. Two things are going to happen. One, they're going to say, oh, okay, sure, no problem. Your choice. You can say something like, really? Yeah, we don't need you then. Or hopefully they'll come back with a statement like, oh, geez, John, I had no idea I was doing that. Sometimes in that chair, I get a little bit egocentrical, and I don't mean to, but I appreciate you taking the time to share this with me and doing it in a closed setting. Yeah, sure. Listen, I am so sorry if I made you feel alienated or unwanted or unwelcome, because that is not what I want at all. So here's what I want you to do. When this happens in the future, you can just say something simple like, I think you're doing it again. And then I'll be like, oh, because I don't want to be that way to you and toward other people. But sometimes I feel like I've got to take this domain control. I get it. But I definitely want you to be on the team. Well, that means a lot to me. I guess we both have a lot of learning to do. Yeah, sounds great. So when you engage, I think it's important to learn that other people are not just there for the task, for the job, or for the relationship. They're there for how it's going to help them become a better version of themselves. Now, we don't talk about this every day, like I'm becoming a friend with XYZ. And I've had friends in my life, a couple of them, where they've left. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I took the lesson. I learned how it went. I learned why it went that way. And I learned how to prevent that in the future. And you might be saying, John, well, how or why? Because when I learned the pattern of how it transpired, now I had the ammunition. If it started to fire up with somebody else, I could say, hey, you're not kicking me under the bus, are you? And either they're going to say yes or no. And if they say yes, it's goodbye. If they say no, well, what were you doing then? Just trying to humiliate me? Trying to pass a joke that you thought would be funny for all your peers and friends? You could take them aside and literally say to them, look, it's not so funny when the jokes are put against you. You seem to be the one doing all the laughing when you're in your big group. And I think the reason people do this is because they get insecure. And so if you're looking for security based on acting in an immature way, you might escalate today or tomorrow. But I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to fall down that ladder or come down those stairs or descend down that escalator or plummet from the elevator very fast. And the respect that you worked so hard to achieve, which took years, will be destroyed like that. Ego seems nice when there's a lot of people around you. But when you have no one, you start realizing that that ego that you have is what's keeping you from friends and anybody that would ever want to associate with you. That sounds like a hard pill to swallow, but I found this a lot in financial people that do management of portfolios at all different levels. And when I've seen this happen, I never judge them. I just say, okay, and I move on. Because, see, I don't want to be around somebody with that energy. But it's not my job to say to them, hey, you can't do this to me. I mean, I can tell them I don't like it. I can tell them if they keep doing it, I'm going to leave. But it's not my job to judge them. It is my job to tell them that I don't feel good about the way things are going right now when I hear a comment like that made, or when I'm part of that behavior that takes place, regardless of who does it. So getting engaged is a very delicate process that can actually bridge more engagement, or it can very easily cause a project or a building to just collapse. So what makes a building? Cornerstone, concrete, steel, right? What makes engagement? Personality, right? Friendship, integrity, commitment, accountability. If any of those pillars come out, very easy for that project to fall apart. Just losing the peg of accountability could sink that project lower than ever and cost the team so much money, all because no one was accountable. Hey guys, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic St. Patrick's Day as we are going into now March 18th at 12:18 a.m. And just wanting you to understand that engagement is the key to success. But make sure that before you engage, you know the reason, you know the purpose, and you feel that it's going to be something you can be passionate about, not something that you're doing just because somebody told you to. Have yourself a great rest of your morning. Of course, definitely comment below and tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a savory plate of a nice, delicious dessert. Either way, we're going to be grateful. Those pennies and dollars will invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, impactful content to give you the tools to change your life if you really want to. But remember, in order to do that, you need to become engaged with yourself to proliferate change. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new master topic. Have a great morning, everyone.